Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending with Peplink. Today's host is Jason. He'll be presenting today. He is their technical marketing. If you have any questions at the end of today's presentation, please submit them, and I'll ask them to Jason when we're all done. Jason, thank you so much for being with us today. Appreciate your time and all of your information you're sharing with us. I'm finished and taking on over.
Hi, Julie. Thanks for inviting me back to go ahead and talk about the Peplink products. Just as a quick aside, that cutting out issue appears to be coming up once again. I don't know if there's something you could do on the back end. In any event, today I want to talk to you about some of the brand new products that Peplink has to offer, as well as some updates to our existing product line and technology. We'll be going first kind of over an overall state of the business introduction. Then we'll go into some of the products, some of the tech, some success stories, and then we'll go ahead and wrap things up with Q&A. Let's set the stage. First off, who are we? Peplink was founded in 2006 and currently holding over 30 granted patents in regards to Speedfusion SD-WAN. Peplink's focus has always been comprehensive WLAN solutions for any deployment. Peplink is a global brand currently with over 500 plus partners and resellers global, with customers in every corner of the earth. Peplink is a small, passionate team. We are only about 127 persons, of which 81 are dedicated R&D engineers. Everything is 100% in-house. Hardware, software, mechanical, manufacturing, it doesn't matter. We don't farm things out if we don't have to. And we are a very open company, giving you direct communication with partners, other end users, as well as the engineering team and the staff here at Peplink as well via our form.peplink.com. What do we mean when we talk about the Peplink advantage? Well, your cloud applications, of course, are going to require constant connectivity to get the resources for the day-to-day that you need. And if that connection goes down, well, you're dead in the water. Enter the Speedfusion SD-WAN VPN. This allows us to combine multiple connections into a single aggregated VPN tunnel. And with Speedfusion, you can combine multiple links, saving you up to 90% of network costs. And this, over time, is going to add up. Samples of a few of our customers who have saved a great deal of money and increased their bandwidth substantially over time. I'm not going to go through all of these one by one, but if you do want more information on the case studies, head over to our website, just peplink.com, and you'll see an entire section that goes into detail what we were able to bring to the table. I think we can all agree today's workplace is changing dramatically. Working remotely is becoming more the norm, and it requires constant cellular connectivity to proceed. Cellular dead spots are, of course, going to result in lost work as well as misconnections. Using our Speedfusion SD-WAN solution, you can combine multiple cellular carriers for that unbreakable connectivity back to needed office resources. Video streaming can benefit as well. Video conferences require that constant connectivity, and inconsistencies are going to lead to jitter and miscommunications. Optimized for video conferencing, one facet of Speedfusion that we call WAN smoothing allows you to combine multiple lines to create a single, rock-solid, consistent connection. Let's talk about some of those new products that can help you aid in your day-to-day. With our Max mobile line of products, these are our cellular-focused devices, and we have both indoor and outdoor models. Brand new is our Max BR1 IP67. This is one embedded cell module with redundant SIM slots as well as integrated MIMO LTE antennas. There are also LTE-A versions available. The IP67 enclosure is dang near weatherproof, protecting your remote network from even the harshest of deployments. PoE input greatly simplifies the deployment, just needing to bring an Ethernet cable carrying power into things. We do, of course, support the standard 802.38t. With its small size and a lot of horsepower under the hood, you're able to easily integrate the IP67 into existing Speedfusion networks fairly easily. We do support hot failover session persistence, of course, straight out of the box, much as the standard BR1. The Max Mobile HD2 Dome is a dual cellular with redundant SIM slot unit that allows you, of course, to mix and match carriers as necessary. The unique weatherproof enclosure protects your network from the elements. PoE input simplifies that deployment, and PoE output allows you to power devices such as cameras or the like straight out of the LAN port of the unit, supporting both 802.38t in and out. This is a pretty cool device, Speedfusion engine. Quite literally, the world's smallest wireless SD-WAN router. Very easy to integrate into the network with its extremely small footprint, as well as a very unassuming power consumption range. Under the hood, it's got 2 cellular, 1 Ethernet connection, as well as a USB slot. And our power usage usually goes at about 10 watts up to about 13. Full-on Speedfusion capable when you pair this device with another Peplink unit. We do support aggregation as well as hot failover straight out of the box. Now, if the Speedfusion engine is the world's smallest SD-WAN router, the Peplink EPX got to go the other end and probably one of the world's largest and most powerful. This also takes a unique approach that Peplink hasn't used before with a modular-based construction, which allows you to customize the unit to your network. You can have up to 18 LTE-A-capable cell modules in play at once, and we do, with this modular construction, also have modules for fiber, and SSD, gigabit Ethernet, and a whole lot more. Under the hood, we're talking 30 gigabits of throughput possible and 2 gig within a Speedfusion tunnel. It's flexible, it's powerful, and it can impact any deployment that you put it in. Just announced today, our PepWave AP Pro AC, the latest addition to the AP Pro line. We now have an IP67 rated 3x3 MIMO 11 AC access point. On 5 gigahertz, that does give you 1.3 gigabits of potential throughput possible. And that enclosure, again, is going to mean extreme protection no matter where you put it. Supports 802.38t PoE input, again, making this thing very easy to slot into a network as necessary. And with InControl 2 keeping an eye on things in the background, you have central management and monitoring options anywhere you have an internet connection. Peplink has a number of physical devices to go into your network, whether Ethernet-based with the balance, cellular focused with the Max Mobile line. We do also have virtual appliances that we call our FusionHub line. It is a variety of instances, and this is our virtual Speedfusion termination point. Also announced today is a brand new addition to that line of products, the FusionHub Solo. What this is meant to do is to bring the power of Speedfusion to small office networks, allowing you a one-peer connection. That means one tunnel up and running at any given moment, 100 mega bidirectional throughput, and the cost is absolutely free. To go and get your copy, or instance rather, of a FusionHub Solo, you just log into InControl 2, and under the warranty and licenses portion, you are able to generate your instance. Brand new class of products we call PetZim. This stands for Peplink Extended to Internet Machines. And this is our IoT offerings that we're starting to put out on the table. Each PepZim product, its goal is to either simplify management and installation of IoT products or to solve problems using IoT technology. Currently, we have two categories of products available. Those that are more HR focused, allowing you to simplify attendance management and access control issues. These are our smart reader, as well as our time and attendance app, and then kind of our honorary PepZim, as it were, would be our SD switch. We also have vehicle-focused deployments to regulate power usage, as well as GPS capabilities, the SD-PMU, as well as a GPS tracker. As I said, kind of where everything starts is with our honorary PepZim device, the Peplink SD switch. Now, in and of itself, this is a PoE-enabled switch, not very worthy of praise. You know what I mean? It's rock solid. We have up to 850 watts of power budget, brought to you by 3 power supply units on the inside. But where it starts to shine is when you put this in within a pre-existing or a brand new Peplink ecosystem. This does allow you to unify VLAN configurations across the entire network, as well as to greatly ease network troubleshooting by trying to find those problem LAN clients. The switch in and of itself, very easy to keep on top of. You can, with InControl 2, view power consumption, keep an eye on those problem LAN clients, as I mentioned, as well as set up schedules to power ports on and off as needed. So what we look to the Peplink switch is, it's kind of an IoT enabler. When you pair this with some of our other PepZim products, you start to go into what we call a smart office, and we'll get to that in a second. Our first true PepZim product is the Smart Reader. This is a cloud-based badge reader that does allow you to keep on top of attendance management quickly and easily. You can use pre-existing employee cards. We support most NFC ones. And so there's not another product basically for an employee to keep to try and keep track of, rather. While management gains access to that intuitive yet powerful system that gives you visibility and allowing you to reduce administrative workload with our time and attendance app. We do have the ability to access things from any web browser or the smart device app. Employees can keep on top of hours they've used, get leave requests in there, as well as check status on things. Management can also log in pretty quickly and easily and go ahead and approve or deny these requests as they come in. Now, when we start to empower the employee to self-serve, they don't need to continue to go back to HR with kind of some of these lower priority questions, and that saves you overhead. Now, this goes in all together to what I was mentioning a moment ago that we call the Smart Office. So John's going to clock in this example, using the Smart Reader, which registers the badge swipe on the SD switch, and then powers devices via PoE. A phone kicks on, Wi-Fi credentials get enabled, PC powers up, etc. All in all, this is going to allow you to, have an environmental impact, streamline administration, saving you money, as well as improving security overall by being able to power devices on and off, and then seeing what's getting plugged into the network via InControl 2. The other category of PepZim products we have is our vehicle focus, starting first with the SD-PMU, Software-Defined Power Management Unit. What this does is it's going to convert fluctuating streams from the vehicle's electrical system into a reliable 52-volt stream. The SD-PMU also is able to monitor voltage information and sending that back to the IoT cloud for review, and it will disconnect products if they're not able to get sufficient power from the system, saving wear and tear on the vehicle and the battery. Brand new to the PepZim line is what we call the GPS tracker. This is a rugged IP67 grade battery powered unit with built-in 3G GPS tracking device. This pairs back to our AnyTracker GPS system, cloud-based, of course, giving you full control of fleet tracking, as well as setting up geofencing and keeping on top of what you're triggering from the geofence. That's the hardware update. Here's the software one. Speaking of geofencing, through InControl 2, we are able to trigger a number of events based on a physical location that you've defined. Brand new feature that we do have to that is what we call device tag splitting. Now, with device tag splitting, what it does is when a vehicle enters a particular area, you can have a temporary tag assigned to the particular Peplink device. And now with our pre-existing tagging mechanic that InControl has, this allows you to fire any previously done tagging mechanisms, rather, or things that fire off of a tag, to now be able to be able be fired by a geofence. So while they're in the area, they get the temporary tag. Once they leave the area, that tag is removed. Just a couple of possible applications we have here is geo-based Wi-Fi, having an SSID enabled when you have a particular tag for that area, or the same with a PET VPN, Speedfusion VPN. You enter the area, you gain the tag, you get the Speedfusion profile, and then when you range out, that information gets removed. InControl 2, in and of itself, can use a great deal of cell data for its day-to-day functionality, geofencing, GPS tracking, etc. With 7.1.1, we have enabled a feature in InControl 2 called low data usage mode. What this allows you to do is to define and scale back as necessary how much data that InControl 2 is going to use for its day-to-day needs. The end result can be saving both money and data. This comes into play a lot in M2M deployments where they have a very strict data cap on their cell plan, and they need to keep eyes on every bit that goes on in the network. And because this is all done from the cloud, you can affect multiple units quickly and easily. Keeping in line with keeping tabs on your cell usage, SIM pooling allows you to group multiple SIMs into a data pool and apply a quota, or a data cap rather, to that group of SIM cards. Now, once you reach the limit of whatever you defined, email notifications are sent out. The end result, again, is more knowledge of how much data consumption is going on in the network. The BR1 on 7.1.1 now has the ability for drop-in mode functionality via a one-time purchase or unlock, bringing it in line with most of the other products that we have out there. As long as you are on that 7.1.1 firmware, you have this option available to you for a small fee. Very big request that's come to us from the forums a lot is BGP support, and we now have that across the board as of firmware 7.1.1. InControl 2 FusionHub updates we've also had a couple of fun ones. You now have the ability to self-generate your Amazon-based FusionHub instance rather than having to shoot the emails out to our engineering team that we had previously. Again, this is done via the warranty and license page. That FusionHub solo license also gets inquired on that same page that we talked about a moment ago. And now FusionHub has added the Vulture platform to be able to be deployed on as well. So further flexibility rather to our FusionHub line of products. Some of the people who have taken advantage of our gear, Harris County Sheriff's Office needed to deploy a Balance 580 to 6 trucks out in the field and keeping a 1350 back at headquarters. We're combining a number of private and commercial lines as well as a microwave broadband in play together to be able to aggregate bandwidth for HD video streaming and as well as connectivity to other real-time information sources to get that back and forth from the field to headquarters. This is an always online connection, meaning redundancy is now possible if we start to have issues with a particular connection or not. And we were able to do that a lot cheaper than some of the other solutions out on the product. It's been a pretty good win for us. One that kind of tickles my heart a little bit as a video gamer is Realm Pictures based out of the UK. They needed to bond to multiple cellular connections for bandwidth and resiliency to be able to stream stream online movies in real time between an off-site player, the actor on site, and in the case of the Hitman relaunch, there was also a remote control turret that the off-site player was able to use. Mixture of FusionHub, MediaFast, as well as BRs and HDs was what was put together to make this possible. And as David Reynolds says here, we didn't have a single problem with the connection. It was super robust, very impressive, and that's vital. If you go online and Google the Hitman live-action movie, you'll see this. And if you have a very good eagle eye, once they get to the turret, you're going to start to see some of our gear make a small little cameo in the corner. It was pretty cool to see. Hickory Farms, 500 branches all over the U.S., 560 roughly. InControl 2 gives them eyes on the ground to each of the kiosks that have this in play. VLAN segmentation gave them the required security, so kiosk A doesn't accidentally get into kiosk C, for example. And it was that increased visibility from InControl 2 that got us the win. This kind of gets to the end of our talk today here, but to stay connected and up to date on all the latest and greatest, we actually have a fairly active social media campaign that's been going on for quite a while now. We have updates on all of the major platforms, and it bears mentioning again, forum.peplink.com truly keeps you connected to the latest and greatest as it comes out. But if you really want to be able to pull the curtain back, this October in New Orleans, Peplink is hosting a U.S. Tech Summit. Products and tech upgrades are going to be unveiled there that we haven't even touched on yet. We are also doing a Peplink certification boot camp to help you get your PCE partners that whatever may require to hold partner status, to get further information, to troubleshoot customers, etc. There's a number of reasons to be able to do that. Yours truly is actually going to be hosting those boot camp sessions down in New Orleans. Plus, of course, ample networking opportunities with other Peplink teammates, partners, and resellers throughout the event. We do have the registration link up in our forum. Time is running out, so if this is something you're interested in, head over to forum.peplink.com and go ahead and look up the forum thread currently for the U.S. Tech Summit. This brings me to the end of the talk today, guys. I am very thankful that you let me come in and speak further on our products and what we have in the pipeline here. Julie, I am absolutely ready for whatever questions you got to throw at me.
Thank you, Jason, very much for that wonderful presentation. We enjoyed it. And it looks like I do have a couple questions here for you. Let's go ahead and start with the first one. Okay, the PepWave AP Pro AC, does it come with the mounts and all the screws and everything else like that that is needed?
Yes, I mean you'll have the normal mount kit just like it does for the other models.
Excellent, thank you so much. Let's see here. Next question: if a customer has two Peplink units in two different networks in their office, does that mean they could be qualified for two FusionHub solos? Does that make sense?
Do you mean like two different? Well, again, FusionHub Solo is free at this point, so you should. I mean, if you've got two different InControl 2 accounts, you should absolutely be able to grab the two different instances. I honestly haven't tested it to be sure if one person can get multiples. You know, keep in mind though that the FusionHub Solo is one peer. I mean, if you were, so it's not going to be usable for a hub and spoke or even a mesh deployment. It's one-to-one. If you are looking for more of that star deployments, we still, of course, have our demo instance, which I believe is rated for up to 10 with the 100 meg throughput up on the site as it always has been. Just know what you're getting.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Next question here. What are the system requirements to be managed by InControl 2?
If we're talking about the low data usage mode, this is again more of InControl 2 overhead. How often does a unit, a Peplink call into InControl 2? How robust of a GPS callbacks are you going to be using? Things more of that nature. If you log into InControl 2, it's under and go to the group level. Actually, I can show you here as well quickly. So we go into InControl 2. You can still see my screen, right?
Yes.
Good deal. All right, I'm just going over to my demo account very quickly here. So we go in to the organization. We choose a particular group, like I'm going to go down here. And then we go over to settings and InControl options. It's here that you're going to see the information on low data usage mode. The third checkbox here talks about, needing again that 711 to enable. And when you turn it on, it does tell you that you are disabling health checks because again, a health check does use data. So you got to turn them back. You got to turn on the health checks manually if you enable this feature. So once you go ahead and enable this, you'll see it kicks over a couple of other checkboxes, disable the device reporting as well as live status queries. Over here in the corner, you're going to see the estimated base data usage. This is our health calculator. And it is letting you know that in the normal 30-day bill cycle with GPS data, you use about 130 in this example. We only lose about, we gain about 5 meg back otherwise. But if you click here, this is where you can really start to scale around and figure out how much data that you have and are going to save it by enabling the feature. It does make a few assumptions here on the bottom. So again, this part doesn't change it. This is just a help tool calculator. It's when you get back over here and start enabling and disabling the variety of features, that's where you actually start to change things. And hopefully that makes sense.
Excellent, Jason. Thanks for that, showing us those screens and the different information that one can find there. It's fantastic. Again, back to some of the enclosure questions here.
Sure.
You mentioned the enclosure for some of the units that are they included with the product or is it a separate purchase?
Oh, no, the IP67 enclosure, that's the gear. So those are our outdoor rated units. It's not like a box that you're putting an indoor unit in. This is one piece, one and done.
Great, thank you so much. Next question. If I am a U.S. partner but have a call for an out-of-the-country project, are there any rules limiting me from working with that account?
Potentially. We're drifting a bit outside of the scope, but the short answer is once you get international, there are some partners that do have exclusive arrangements for particular regions. you're going to want to reach out to Julie and the team at Microcom, and if they can't answer it immediately, they can kick it up to us, and we can certainly let you know. But the short answer, generally speaking, is no, hands off. You're not going to be able to. But there's of course exceptions to every rule.
Understand that. Thank you so much. You mentioned that other event coming up in New Orleans, and you're going to be down there. How about
Yep.
WISPA? Are you going to be there as well?
I don't believe so. I'm not familiar enough with the event, but I do know. For example, like Mobile Congress? Our sales manager is actually there as we speak, and we do sometimes go to some of these other ones, but we mainly rely on partner teams for a presence on those. That's different than the tech summits. These are Peplink hosted, and these are our events as opposed to us piggybacking on somebody else.
Understood. Thank you very much. Next question here. If we have anyone interested in the Peplink certification in New Orleans, who can we contact and what is the cost if you know?
Well, the boot camp is going to be going on during the event. It's a half-day session, so about 4-hour sessions. I'm actually hosting it down there. To the best of my knowledge, I've heard that you have the ability to take the test once you go through the boot camp right away. This is kind of our push to make sure that everybody knows what they are talking about. But head to the forum.peplink.com. You'll see the information about the summit. We actually just sent out yesterday registration forms for the boot camp in the Peplink newsletter. So if you are registered for those, you should have got that yesterday. But if you haven't, the form, you'll see the thread. Go ahead and ask away on there, and they'll get. This stuff is a little bit in flux yet as far as the particulars. That way you can get the latest and greatest.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Can you give us some highlights regarding your closest competitors and how they compare and what you think is best about Peplink?
Well, I mean, the easiest part is, as far as load balancers and the like, there are a number of them out on the markets. You got your ViperNets, your Mushrooms, and Accessa. Cisco has a few offerings, and so forth. Where Peplink shines is kind of the points we touched on at the beginning. We're a small team, able to be very flexible. We're a pretty flat organization, honestly. There's not tiers and tiers of management that you have to kind of slog through before getting something going. Everybody has the ability to bring information to the table, and we pivot accordingly. We're also very dynamic, especially with the form there. The ability to communicate directly to some of the bigwigs, Alex, Keith, etc., as well as the engineering team. If enough people plead their case for needing a particular feature or hardware SKU or the like, a dialogue can be had and people can move on, and we can get something out fairly quickly because this is all our product. This is what we do, and we've been doing it for over 10 years, especially when it comes to the iterations on Speedfusion, the iterations on our outbound traffic steering. There is a lot of exciting stuff coming out, a lot of which we're going to be talking about in New Orleans. We like to think we're in a pretty good position as kind of being that solid middle of the road, dynamic young company that does a lot, that we can do things that a lot of the bigger, more established players can do, and we can do things at a fairly aggressive price point.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Jason. And after the New Orleans show, maybe you can give us an update on what's taken place and how it went. It sounds very interesting.
I was struggling not putting some of the new stuff in today's talk, you know, saving it for the big easy.
Okay. Then the next webinar you can give us all of that information.
Yeah, then we'll start to get the skinny to everybody who wasn't able to go.
Sounds fantastic. Jason, thank you so much for answering all of those questions, and thank you to everyone for attending today. If you have any other questions, please feel free to contact our sales rep, or you can email us at sales@microcomtech.com. If you wish to view some of the products we mentioned here today, please visit us at www.microcom.us. And please remember, this webinar presentation has been recorded and it will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel so it can be viewed again. Thank you, Jason, again for your time and your excellent information for all of us today. We very much enjoyed it.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate coming out and talking with everyone. You know where to find us if other questions crop up. Reach out to Julie and her team. Reach out to our team via the form. We're here to help.
Thank you, Jason and everyone. Bye for now.
Have a good day, guys. Thanks so much.